just looking at my phone here. Got my notes for today's talkie, and I had an idea that I can set a timer for 50 minutes. I think I've got an hour, or just under an hour, but 50 minutes is safe. And I just looked at I've just set the timer, and it said it was already on. It's been on for 76 hours. So I'm puzzled by that. Anyway, it's on now, and my notes are now on Google, on a Google document, Google Docs file, and it was going on and on and on. So I made a PDF of it, and it ran to 8 pages. And I was going to say, just fast forward to, when the car's moving, like. But what I did this afternoon, I thought, no, I said I'd do bullet points, and I meant it. So I've done it. I put it into bullet points, and although I'm scrolling up like this, or scrolling down, it's quite summarized. So I should get through this pretty quickly before it gets completely dark. And it's 5 to 6. I spent all day today editing. It wasn't a long video, but I've also spent a lot of time on the sofa watching the secret history of comics, which I'll come to later. And that went on. That was an hourly episode. There were 6 episodes, and I must have seen about 3 or 4, at least 3. So I'm going to begin with 2 Wednesdays ago, and I've only got 1 bullet point. I don't know if you can see that, but it says, I watched keynote videos on YouTube on Acer, my laptop, Google Pixel 6, hopefully my next phone, Samsung, which may be my next phone. It's a toss up between Pixel 6 and Samsung, because it works for my vlogs, and Apple, because I'm just curious. And these keynote videos it's something they have once a year to announce new products, like when Steve Jobs announced the iPhone and things like that. The next day, which was a Thursday, saw me editing Wednesday's video. Not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday before last. And this Thursday is the Thursday before yesterday. Because today's Friday, and this is going into the second week. And so the video I'm editing this Wednesday's, not this Wednesday's, but this video on a Wednesday before last, was another piece to camera, or talkie. And I can hear voices, sorry. I can hear voices. Oh, it's them. So so this Wednesday video, I was editing, was this talkie, which went on to be 90 minutes long. It was probably one of the longest ones I've ever done. And I was editing with Shotcut, and unfortunately it struggled with a 90-minute edit. It became laggy, and at one point I couldn't even open. I better hurry up because I'm going to be in complete darkness in a second. It couldn't open, so I uninstalled Shotcut, and Kdenlive was already installed, so I used that. Next day, Friday, not today but last Friday, still editing with Kdenlive. There were errors, which was the transition effect at the 10-second mark, which is the bit when the curtain opens on the thumbnail. And Kdenlive said it was an error, and it removed the transition. It's getting dark really quick. Hopefully these street lights will come on. And I can put this light on, couldn't I? But then again I need to put the engine on. Well, we'll see. There's a spider in here. Yeah, so it removed it, so I put it back and saved it, and speak of there you go, the street lights have just come on. I hate it when cars creep up slowly. You think they're gonna say something. Yeah, so Kdenlive, I'll have to put the light on, won't I? There we go. Hello. Daylight. Oh, screensaver blast. So, I better put the engine on actually. I put it back. So I put the transition back, saved it, and I restarted Kdenlive, and it failed again. In fact, it kept failing. I did all various solutions to it, even testing it in a brand new project, but it kept on failing. So I uninstalled it, and then I had the idea, I'll uninstall it and reinstall this particular build. And by build I mean there's a nightly build, so every night the developers release a fixed version, but not necessarily a thoroughly tested version, like an alpha version. So this nightly build is like an alpha version of the software. So I thought I'd uninstall it and reinstall this particular build, and it failed. Then I thought, well, let's try, before I go to the forums, let's try the latest build. And guess what? Yes, it did the trick. And I finished Wednesday before last video, the talkie, all 98 minutes of it, and that's it. It was okay. No problems after that. Even the export, although it took 12 hours, I believe. Oh, how long did it take? I can't remember. Actually, oh, it's auto timed out. Oh my god, I think the fuser's gone. Oh crikey. Oh, it's come on again. So, I'm going to go really quickly through this. did the trick. Also on Friday before last, I watched Wentworth Prison. It was the penultimate episode, was it? Have I scrolled too far? Yeah, it was the penultimate. It was the penultimate episode. There's no more. There's only one left ever, which I'll come to later, hopefully. Yes, I will. I'll remember some notes about that. So I watched that. That was Wentworth Prison. The acting, writing, everything. It was perfection. I just felt sad that it was the penultimate episode. Right, last Saturday. Oh no, I don't believe this. Cars parked behind me. Oh, it's only a delivery van. It's not going to give me any ag. But the headlights are on full beam, so of all the places in the road, it has to park right on my tailgate. These things happen, don't they? Saturday. So, basically I uploaded said Wednesday's video. And then it cleared the decks for me to transfer Thursday before last's footage, and while it was doing that I read a bit of Inspector Grace, not dead yet, and in it said Grace was called to a farm near the South Downs by Eastbourne CID. So I got really excited about that and hopeful to where this might lead. Also, DaVinci Resolve 17.4 came out with big fixes, so I installed it. I also watched Lauren Hardy, a short called Putting Pants on Philip. It was a silent. It was followed by a feature film made in the 40s. And as I've said about the last one they made in the 40s, it was pretty bad. But I have to say, Hardy's mannerisms are still funny, and Stan Laurel's timing is still good. So Thursday last video was edited with DaVinci Resolve. Editing's not a problem because I can do it on a very low res timeline. But when I came to do the thumbnail and I have to revert back to 4K to grab a still and turn off the proxy, it hung, and in fact it couldn't open anymore either, just like Shotcut. So I had something tell me to turn off the external monitor and just use the laptop's one, and it worked. And I grabbed the still, I played it back as well, but I played it back on the external monitor that I turned off. Did a disk cleaning up, reboot, switched to 4K, left it proxied, minimized the viewer monitor and zoomed to fit timeline. And that was Saturday. Sunday, DaVinci had failed. Since I had proxied these clips in Kdenlive again, I downloaded the latest build and done the edit all over again, because I did it once in DaVinci Resolve, and then I did it again in Kdenlive, and no complaints there. moving on to Monday, just gone. Watched another Laurel and Hardy feature film, which they made in the 30s, so it was in their heyday. So I watched that. And a 1927 silent short, which was damaged, and it was recreated with photographs and text that looked like someone put together in a video editor. Tuesday, I noticed that HitFilm Express can generate proxies. So I uninstalled Kdenlive and installed HitFilm. So there's no image at the back. It's probably dark anyway. I should never interrupt myself. So I installed HitFilm. I generated the proxies, and then I uninstalled HitFilm and installed the latest build of Kdenlive, because every morning there's a new build. The bad news was with HitFilm was I could not see what was proxied. It was just a black screen on the timeline. And also the problem with the mouse was still there. What I mean is whenever I position the mouse, the pointer wouldn't be wherever I pointed it. I couldn't. Well, I have to move it 3mm up, about 5mm up, in order to click what I need to click. So it was, that problem has been there since version 13, and we're on to 17 now. So those two issues meant it was a fail. But if there's bad news, there's good news, and the good news was it played beautifully in the trimmer or clip monitor, sort of the preview monitor, before you drag it onto the timeline. So if I thought I'd learnt my lesson with HitFilm Express, YouTube then suggests a video on fixing these DaVinci Resolve renders. Now I was searching for this at the time, but couldn't find it. But now YouTube decides to tell me about it now. So, and one of the steps to fix it is unticking stop renders when a frame or clip cannot be processed. So I would have to try it. At this point, I had a nap. I think now whenever my eyes feel heavy, I just think, well, this is a chance to have a really good nap. So I had a good nap, and when I woke up, I didn't realize I was on the sofa. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what time it was. But it turned out to be 4 PM, and the Thursday's footage was still copying over, I believe, if I remember. It's not written here, but I'm sure that was still going on. That was one of the surprises, that there was still files being copied over after my sleep. Right, so I tried the DaVinci Resolve fixes to the render, and it was a fail. I've written fall here, but fail or fall, it's both the same. So I'm back with Kdenlive. I went to bed at 2:45 AM exactly, because I just watched something on BBC 4 on Peter Sellers called A State of Comic Ecstasy. So that was something to unwind to afterward. That's it, I've come to the end nearly. So Wednesday, that was Tuesday, this is Wednesday now. I had the last of the mince pies, but that won't be the end of it. I'll probably get another box at some point. But not every time it runs out, because I get fed up with it. It ruins the novelty. I've got the second bullet point says I watched Only Connect, University Challenge, and the last ever episode of Wentworth Prison, which had a really nice end credit sequence and a little something for Prisoner Cell Block H fans. Now yesterday I got one bullet point. I had a chicken tikka masala. I'm nearly finished anyway. Is that more effective? Maybe it's not. So I had a chicken tikka masala ready meal and watched The Secret History of Comics on the Sky History Channel on Marvel, Wonder Woman, Superman, yeah, to name 3 episodes in particular. So yeah, that's it. And today I was editing, I probably mentioned it at the start. I better turn the timer off. Breaking the fourth wall here. Talking about the microphone, because the microphone on this this device is a bit choppy. So there's somebody on the phone there. I don't know. I always get paranoid, you know. I shouldn't really be here in the street doing this, but I'm not. I'm in complete light, so I'm not. There's no secrecy. Guilty much? So that's it, really. We're up to date. So I was, yes, as I said at the start, I was editing. I don't know what day it was. Probably the day before last, because I'm about 2 days ahead. 2 days behind, I mean. 2 days ahead. That's impossible. Right, so I better move on. So off we go. Somebody else parked behind me. Well, knock on my window. But I'm off. Breaking the fourth wall.